Welcome to season 2 of Two Dumb White Guys. We were not canceled. We're back for another go around. Canceled? Yes.
We might be that.
We might be that now. So, we are not canceled. We're back, and we have ourselves a great guest. But before we get there, my name is Paul Davidson.
My name is Scott Norman.
And who is our guest, Mr. Norman?
It is none other than Crissy Saenz. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. I'm pretty excited to be here.
Whoop,
my turn.
Whoop. Yes. So, Miss Crissy's been one of our constant most requested teachers to come on the podcast, and we have finally got her. We're starting off the season with a bang. So, Miss Crissy, how or why, or how and why did you become a teacher?
Yeah, I want to know both.
Okay.
Let's start with how.
How? Okay. So, I grew up in a restaurant, and I love working there. Love helping my mom, being with the family and all, and just the customers become your family. It's just there's people there that have been there since I was 12 years old. But then as I got older, I did graduate, or after I graduated high school, I did go on to college, and I thought, okay, so I'm just gonna get a degree. What am I gonna do? I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
My plan was not to be a teacher. So
Most teachers' plans aren't to become
Were
teachers.
you initially did you like the restaurant enough that you were thinking about doing restaurant related things?
That's the thing. I wanted out.
Okay.
That's when, by the time I was 18 or 19, I thought, okay, I've already seen the ins, the outs, everything behind the scene, all the good and the bad. And I like the good, but I don't want to deal with the bad.
Uh-huh.
So I decided, because it was in my mind a lot, off and on over the years. Am I going to take this over? Because people ask me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, it just hit me, no, I'm not taking this over. I'm not doing it. I still work there on the weekends.
Let's say this is why Katie's has been for sale for so long.
Yes. I still work there on the weekends.
If you didn't know, Katie's is the restaurant she's talking about. Katie's here in Portageville.
Katie's Diner, yep. So, I still work there on the weekends, and most weekends, especially now in this heat, when I leave, I'm like, thank God I went on and got another job. Because 5 or 6 days or 7 days a week when you own it is I'd be a totally different person probably wouldn't be very pleasant. But anyway, my mom, I always say she's built and made out of totally different materials than we are. But so went to college, started out in accounting. I was like, oh yeah, I like numbers, I can do that. Because I loved them in high school. College, I did accounting 1, started accounting 2. No.
Accounting 2 is usually where people flame out at.
Yeah, I was like, wait, no, this is a whole different ballgame. Get me out. I hate numbers to a point. So, criminal justice, I picked that up. Got a 2-year associate's degree in that.
Really? I have no idea.
Yeah, I thought, I'm going to be a
state trooper.
a parole officer, I was going to. And then I thought, and then I realized I'm probably going to be staying here. I didn't see me move anywhere because I went to Jonesboro and was homesick. So I came home before the semester was even over. I was that kid because I would get mad at my mom and I'd be like, you haven't called me in like 2 days.
You
so
would,
that's like the
wait
reverse.
Yes. You would call your mom and say, you haven't called me in 2 days.
I was 19 and I was like, what's going on? What, she's like, well, you're busy. You can still call me. I can call you back. Or it's just knowing that you have not called me. So, came home, went to work at Katie's, busted butt there 7 days a week. I worked at the flower shop for 7 years.
Which flower shop?
Julie's
Flower Shop.
Julie Fullerton, yeah.
Yep. Where the barber shop is now.
Yeah. Or actually, it's the little insurance place now. Yeah, Mark Jones. And worked there off and on. I actually started there when I was 16, delivering on holidays.
I was going to say, so that kind of overlapped with the other things.
Yeah, they overlapped. And then I went to work at Plastine. So I would work at Julie's and Katie's all through the day. At Plastine, I went in at, 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And, Katie's and Julie's kind of cut back a little bit after that because I thought, okay, I'm gonna get insurance here and I'm gonna make all this money because.
So I don't need these other side hustles going on.
Yeah, well, I still did them, but
I don't have to rely on the side
much,
hustles. Kind of like me
So
working
if
at
any
the
of
Delta
you-
Center during the summer. On days where they're like, "Hey, you can leave early," I'm like, "Cool, peace out," because
Yeah,
I'm just
'cause
here
I
for
don't
money.
have to have
I
it,
don't
yeah.
have to have this.
Yeah.
So if any of you students want to complain to Miss Crissy about how much work you have to do with
Don't.
homework,
Yes.
you just heard what she has already put up with as far as work is concerned. You have no complaint.
Yeah. But I did that a few months. It was in the summer, and don't ever start plasting in the summer because you're going to quit. And I worked in the taping department. So the tape was extra stretchy. So my job was harder. I couldn't get inspection to pass, and I was just like, oh,
They're
so
like, "Crissy,
frustrated.
your tape is just all over the place."
My parts were just sticky, and I was like, but it's like dealing with liquid glue, that tape, So anyway, I got off about 2 in the morning, I think, something like that. I worked all overtime I could. So
Wait a minute. So you went in at 2, got off at 2, and then
you still were working
working-
other jobs.
yeah, I would go sleep a little while and
wake
then-
up, work the morning shift at
Yeah.
Katie's, serve the old men coffee.
This is a break. I was not in college at this time because I did about 10 years of college with semesters off. And then I would do a semester and take a semester off because I just didn't know where I was going with all this. So then I had a cousin that she calls one day and she's like, I'm going to quit my job at the bank. She's been there forever. And I'm going to start driving to Malden and try to get my teaching degree. I was like, oh, okay. Never crossed my mind. And then I'm like, well, I'll just go with you.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm
with
just
you.
go
It's
to
not like I'm
Baltimore.
doing anything.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll just go too. So that's how that happened. I drove to Malden, got my teaching degree through Three Rivers and SEMO, and had a baby, and then had to finish because I had this baby, and I thought so. But
That's one interesting gap year that you have right
She
there.
only came at a good time because had she not come, I probably would have kept taking semesters off and I'll just work at Katie's but having her, I guess, encouraged me to keep going because I thought, I mean, I don't know.
you didn't want to
think
do the baby and the round the clock
the
schedule.
8 hours a day. And, no. So, that's how that worked out. So went into teaching.
And was it immediately special ed that you went into?
Well, I got a degree in 1st through 6th regular ed. No, and no intentions of special ed. So then I took a job at Head Start my first year. Now, my first year I subbed here in Portersville. Every day. I did like 3 maternity leaves, and then I subbed every day. I did
And then it's
tutoring.
still true today. Like, we desperately need
Yeah,
subs. Like if you were looking for a part-time job, if you have 60 hours of college education,
Yep.
we'll take a sub and we will use you.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I pretty much just got dressed to come to school every day, even though I didn't know yet. There's a few days where they didn't call, till a little later, and I'd go to the restaurant and work. I thought, well, I'll go to the restaurant and work. Ollie goes to daycare, I'll go to the restaurant and work. And then I'd get a call, and I'd say, Mama,
I gotta
school
go.
called. I gotta get my foot in the door. I gotta go. So,
I've been in that situation too.
Yeah.
When my first year teaching, I was working on the family farm, and there would be days that I'd get a phone call and I'd be like covered in grease, and I'd turn to my uncle and be like, I gotta go. Like, they need me
Yeah.
somewhere.
yeah, give me 10 minutes.
We need to hear those stories sometime too.
Yeah. So then went to, where was I? Oh yeah, got a 4-year degree in
You were
regular ed.
subbing, and then you got a job at Dayoc.
Went to Head Start. Did Head Start over here for a year. Then got hired at Crothersville.
Ooh.
Crothersville Elementary, kindergarten through 2nd grade, special ed.
And so that's how you
Self-contained.
got into the special
Yes,
ed.
self-contained. I interviewed there I just knew they had a few openings.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking second grade, third grade, something in their elementary. And then the curriculum director there was like, I know what you need, because I had all these, Head Start does all this special early childhood training, and I had just had it all. And she was like, do you think you would want to go into early childhood special ed? So I'm over here going, yeah, if you're going to hire me,
I'll take any job that you're offering. I'll take any bone that you're throwing.
Exactly. This will be my first real salary. So, yeah, I'm going to go for it. So, I did that. Worked for special school district at the Crothersville Elementary for 4 years. Very interesting down there.
We do have kind of like a Crothersville to Porterville pipeline, because you're not the only person that taught at Crothersville over there for a while.
Yeah, they have a big turnover sometimes. I don't know. But
I know about districts with big turnover.
Yeah. So 4 years of that. My kindergarten through second graders were on very low levels. Like I said, we were self-contained. We did push-in inclusion. They didn't go to regular rooms on their own. So, transitioning from that to high school, when I first got here, was a nervous wreck.
So you went straight from Crothersville to here. So you replaced Miss Mosby, didn't you?
Yes.
And so
Miss Lindsay.
Okay.
Miss Lindsay.
So that is a huge jump from second graders as your oldest kids to 12th graders as some of your kids.
As one of the questions in the suggestions box, eventually they're going to ask you about your height. You went from kids that you were the bouncing over them to that are twice the size of you.
I went from K through 2 to 6 through 12. So I mean, that's kind of how I got here. Why I went ahead and made the decision was, like I said, Ollie was a big encouragement to me. Just having her just kind of changed my outlook on life, I guess. And I figured I've already started this. I might as well go through with it. And if I didn't like it and I didn't feel like it was my passion, I think I would have already gotten out.
Yeah, you still wouldn't be here.
Because people still ask me, do you want to take over Katie's? I'm like, I've not been here full time in 12 years. What do you think I want to? But anyway.
Well, they see you on Sunday. They just think that's what you're there for.
I work 7 days all the time.
I had no idea how many other things you had done before getting into teaching. This is like genuinely doing the interview. I was like, she went to college, decided to do teaching at some point, and came to do teaching. I didn't realize that there was all the backstory.
Encourage this when kids go off to college, but I'll tell you, when I went to Jonesboro, I started at Goodies, the clothing.
Getting the job, yeah.
They had me in men and children's denim.
She did nothing but sell jeans.
Me out. I was like, so now when I go shopping and I'm digging through clothes, I try to put them back like they're supposed to be because I was exhausted. I was working the back to school season.
Oh.
I got out of there before Christmas season because I was like, they're wearing me out. I can't. All these tubs and totes you have to put away and on hangers and then make a new display like every Monday, and I was just. I'm not, retail is not for me. So then I found a little restaurant in Jonesboro.
What's the restaurant?
I can't remember. It's not a big one in town.
Is it a sandwich shop?
No, it's way down.
I thought me and her worked at the same sandwich shop. I was like, oh.
It's way down in the old part of town. It was like all these lawyers' offices. People walk to eat there. It's really cool.
Is it like a cafe kind of?
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name.
Something Skillet or something. I can't remember, but I loved it there. It reminded me a lot of being, with my mom, working with my mom. I went in there, of course, thinking I knew everything. But there was a couple that owned it, a man and woman in their late 60s. Well, like my mom and dad. But he worked there. My dad doesn't work at Katie's. He worked there. And I had they used mason jars for cups to drink out of. And I had stacked up a bunch of silverware when I cleaned the table and stuck it in there. And he let me have it. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I guess, because we always use plastic. So I got in trouble.
A mason jar is pretty expensive, so.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm sorry. And he always wore headphones, so he took them off to talk to me.
Oh, so as soon as you saw the headphones coming off?
Yeah, he doesn't talk to anybody. He does his own thing, and he let his wife and other people handle all the workers. But when he took the headphones off, I thought, it's the first time he's ever done that. So then I tried to sell vacuum cleaners. It wasn't rainbow.
It's like, wait. So
You've done every job.
There was a group of us, okay?
Okay. So, are you still working at the restaurant down in Jonesboro when you're selling
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because, I gotta have something on the side. I'm so used to hustling. I just gotta keep going. So,
My goodness.
but you work on commission, so I think I put in a good 2
Wait,
or
was
3
it
weeks.
the door to door?
Yes.
What's it called?
I can't remember.
The
It
little
wasn't-
metal ones that are like supposed to be super powerful.
Yeah,
Kirby.
No, it's a big old.
Okay,
yeah,
so-
no, it's not Kirby.
Okay.
Or, it might have been a
Hoover? No.
Electrolux or something. I can't remember what it was. But you worked on commission only. So I had to go around to neighbors. I was knocking on doors in Jonesboro. Me and a few other friends that we got together and we were going to do this.
You were going
So I
to be
was
vacuum queens.
Yeah, I was a door-to-door salesman. So we would go up to their door, knock on the door, you get the person to come to the door, and you give them this coupon. Here's your $200 worth of free groceries if you let me come in and do a demonstration with my vacuum.
Wow.
So here's you get $200 of free groceries, and I will clean your floors.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, I would let you in. I wouldn't buy the vacuum,
They
but I'd
don't
be
like to let you
come on in.
I guess in Jonesboro, they're used to that stuff going on. I don't know. But, it was so hard. I was like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done besides putting up blue jeans all day. It was so hard. So I got out of that.
in the ranking of Miss Crissy's jobs, it's blue jeans, then selling vacuums, then everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm really good at the whole crafty flower shop kind of thing, though.
Which this is a good thing to show because, one of the things the kids don't understand usually often is that all because when you graduate, you have a plan. That plan will change drastically
Yes.
many times. And sometimes people will have many hats or many different jobs that they'll have throughout their life before they finally find that thing
Right.
that works for them.
Right.
Yeah, the proverb comes to mind that a man plans his way, but the Lord determines his steps. It's like, I'm going to go, nope.
Yep.
I'm going this way.
Exactly.
And I also just want to, since we have so many students that listen to this, I have one other point, and that is, if you are somebody who's like, oh man, these teachers won't understand anything that I'm going through or work or whatever, go talk to Miss Crissy because she's worked all the jobs.
Every single job.
All of them. So whatever you want to go into, Miss Crissy's had experience. Have a
And
conversation.
I've always I still tell my niece this, Samantha, she's 30. I still tell her, Samantha, I'm like, you have no kids. You're not married. You do have bills. So you should be working 7 days a week like I was. And she does a lot of times. She has a regular job. It's actually 4 days a week. And then the other 3 days, she alternates working at Katie. She doesn't work all
But you're just looking at her like, what's the big deal?
I'm
Like,
like,
come on, it's Sunday. Let's go to work.
Why aren't, this is what I did. I feel like everybody should do what I did. You don't have to. But every minute, I was like, I need to work these hours too. And this day, I can't have all these days off.
Which
So
might explain one of our future questions. So
Yes.
let's kind of pivot back to teaching just for a moment. So a lot of kids don't have you in class. So
Right.
they don't actually understand exactly what your role at school is. So what exactly do you as a special ed teacher do here at the school for those kids that don't understand?
Okay, so the kids that are assigned to me already have an IEP. Initial IEPs I don't usually get because
They usually do that
They
down in
already have
elementary
it,
school.
yeah.
And IEP stands for Individual Education Plan, something
Yeah.
to help you out with your education.
Right, and
Tailor it.
that's something I have to explain sometimes to my students with IEPs. Well, why did you help so and so do this? And I tell them again.
Their plan fits
it's
this.
different. Everyone's is a little different. I can't do the same thing for everybody.
And something you will hear me say in my class quite often, all of us, our brains work differently. All of us think differently. And so for those IEPs, certain IEPs work better for certain
Right.
other people.
Yeah.
I have a framed picture in my room with these plants, and they all look different. And it says, "We're all different." And sometimes I look and I say, "This is why," because we're all different.
You just point to the thing. And
Yes.
some kids, one particular kid that I'm thinking of would probably say, so we're all plants.
Yes.
Yeah, I probably have a few that would come into that one. But so I get their IEP comes over from the elementary because I have 6th through 12th. I just basically work on whatever their learning disability is. We come up with goals that we need to meet by the end of the year. Some of them have 1 goal, some of them have 3 goals. We meet with the teachers and the parents once a year to go back over that, see what changes need to be made. And I modify their work. Some kids are not capable to do everything that all other students are. I try not to cut their work though. I try to make
I
them
have noticed that with you because like I've taught in other districts similar to Miss Norman, and one of the things that seems to differentiate you from other special ed teachers is that a lot of other special ed teachers would be along the lines of, oh, don't make them do this, 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 and this, and you're like, no, they're doing all of it.
Just they can make an attempt. They can at least try to come up with some of it. But there's been a few kids where we've had to just take them out completely of algebra because I hate to say it, but it's probably not going to happen because their brain doesn't think. Not yet. It may someday, but right now they can't get that.
At the stage that they are at, they need to get those building blocks beneath them that can get them up to where
we
they
need
can possibly.
to just do almost like life skills math, because consumer math is perfect for my kids. If they could take 3 years of that, we'd really be doing.
And I was going to say, to be fair, like the standard line on math used to be, well, you're not going to have a calculator with you everywhere you go, and
now we have.
I'm sitting here with a calculator,
Yes.
Sitting next to me, and another one over there, and so it is something that they have tools that they can use.
Yes.
So
Yes, and another thing with a lot of my students, they get very frustrated in the regular room because they feel judged, by other students and whatnot. But that I struggle with that too. It eats me up. But what do you do? I mean, what you try, and I try to keep them positive and confident because they love coming to me.
They
do. Beg. They're knocking on my door constantly, and I'm like, no, you've got to stay for, well, I just want to get out, nope.
No. All right, so in case you were wondering, that is what Miss Crissy does full time. But she also, as she's pointed out in her previous before school life, in school, she still wears a lot of hats, and we now know why.
She cannot stand only having one hat on at the same time.
Yeah.
There must be several going.
Yes.
So what are then here at school, now that you've settled down to just one place where you can have several hats? Well, I guess still 2, but
Sort of.
then what are the hats that you wear? Aside from working as the teacher here in the high school, what are some of the other roles that you have here at the school?
Here at school, yeah.
Okay, well, this year I took over student council. Last year I was partner with Miss Donna. This year I took over. So we're doing all the homecoming, blood drive, Spirit Week, National Honor Society, all those things. I am now...
So wait a second, student council also does NHS?
I didn't know that.
So-
I didn't know that.
You want NHS?
I'll pass, thank you.
Thank you.
I've still got to figure out how on earth to do a Scholar Bowl.
Oh, yeah. So, yes, we do. Then another new job I got this year is called the Junior Class Procurement Director or something like that.
Basically, you're the head of concession stand.
Yes,
So
but Miss Stephanie made sure I had a fancy title.
You got to have a fancy title.
I will say, I had a conversation with you at one point where you were like, I'm not really sure why they chose me for I now know, hearing your background,
I guess so.
why you ended up doing that.
I guess so.
Because I feel like you're more experienced with all of those things than pretty much anybody else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I called the grocery guy that we get our groceries from, and I was like, hey, it's Crissy from Katie's. And he's like, well, hey, I said, guess what? I'm going to be calling you every week now until you retire, because he's older than me. But anyway, I order all the groceries and supplies for the concession stand now, and that'll be every year. I'm currently a freshman class sponsor.
Woo woo.
Yep. And
So that's a full-time job of trying to keep Coach Trover and Mr. Norman on task.
Keep us busy.
yeah, it's like, well, especially when we get to be junior class sponsors, I'm going to be like,
Yeah, that was pretty fun last
wake
time.
up. Yeah, Trover's across the street. It's a different story.
By the way, Trover, you're still allowed to come on the podcast.
You're still totally invited.
Yeah.
If you'd listen to one, you'd know you're
You
invited.
just have to listen to to any of them that says, "Hey, come on the podcast," and you can come on.
I think that's all my jobs. Do I have another job? I'm a mentor this year for my second
You also
year.
have to watch out for this little version of you that's walking on the
I
hallways.
do. Yeah, she's here all the time, and she's.
Yeah. And as a result, you do Gata quite a bit because of that, don't you? Like whenever we have like sport, like volleyball games, football games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you do the gate for
I
that
just
mainly
signed
because
up.
she's going to be here.
Yes, that's another thing. I'm like, well, she wants to come to the games. I like to go to the games. I'm just going to work the gate, make money while I'm at the game. Yesterday, I signed up for gate, and Mr. Branscombe comes to me this morning. He goes, "Do you know you accidentally signed up for volleyball line judge?" I was like, "Take me off because I did not mean to do that." He was like, "I figure you need to be trained." No, you don't want me there at all. Just put
Yeah.
me out in the lobby. So that was fun.
Yeah, I'm terrified. I'm doing line judge Monday night. And,
I signed up pro for all my line judges, and I'm excited.
oh, oof.
I'm not doing it Monday because of reasons, but I will be doing it the entire month of September.
Oh man, I'm doing it Monday, and I didn't I usually sign up for all the libero trackers and steal it from Paul, but this year I didn't sign up for it because I haven't gotten a schedule yet for Scholar Bowl.
Oh, you're not going to have any Scholar Bowl games during volleyball. You're good.
So
You're good. Go ahead and take them. I already volunteered for line judge because I knew you were going to be like, "Oh no, I can't do anything. My name's Mr. Dorman." So I was like, "Fine, I'll just be the line
He
judge."
sacrificed himself for the
Yes.
part that actually matters.
Oh, it's funny.
But anyway, so the various different hats. That's still quite a bit. Like you made it sound like, oh, that's all, but still, that's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
to be in
Yeah.
charge of.
I still have to go home and do laundry and cook supper.
And yet she's sacrificing her time to be here for you guys,
Yes.
the listeners who wanted to
Yes.
hear us
Like,
interview.
let me fit it in my schedule. Yes.
So,
In fact, it almost didn't happen.
Yeah, she actually did change her schedule to be here. So thank you for that.
Yes,
by the
thank
way.
you, Ollie, for
yeah.
encouraging this to occur.
Yep.
So I guess we should get to the part that all the students actually are waiting for us to do.
Suggestion
the
box.
suggestions.
All right, so we don't have a ton of papers, but some of them have lists. So I'm gonna get some out of the way that I'm not 100% sure on. So we'll start with, what do you think of the Area 51 meme?
Why all of a sudden is it such a big deal?
I think somebody started
if
a
enough
petition.
of us try, they can't stop us all. They can stop us all.
Yeah, that's
But-
it. That's the meme, is if enough of us try, they can't stop us all. And I say, you realize this is the same government that we just learned about that created the
Yeah.
nuclear bomb, right?
Well,
And it's in a desert, so...
one reason why I have so much time to work and do all the work, wear all the hats I wear, is because I'm not worried about stuff like that.
There you
So,
go.
She's not up on the
Yeah.
memes.
Life lesson, students.
Yeah.
More time to
So,
work, you
there
get
you
more
go.
money than memeage.
All right, the one I alluded to earlier. Why are you so short?
Is that one from Ollie?
I think so.
Who knows? Okay. God made me that way. That's all I know.
There we go.
I will not question him.
I don't actually know what this means. Maybe you will. RWBY or DDLC. You have any idea what that is? Me
Yeah.
either.
No.
We didn't either. We
I guessed, just from looking at it, maybe it was because we have a whole bunch of both avid listeners and avid K-pop fans, that maybe it had something to do with that,
I don't know.
I don't know.
but I have no idea, so who knows? We don't. Listener, be more specific.
Yeah.
We don't
All
know.
right.
Exactly.
This one actually came from the suggestions box at Katie's. Can you add a quad stack pancakes at Katie's?
Yes. You can have 25 stacked pancakes again.
There you
My
go.
favorite part of that is that they spelled it
Yeah,
Catties.
look at how they spell Katie's.
They spelled it Catties.
Oh, yeah, well. Hey, you got the cash, you can have all the pancakes you want.
I want, please, someone go order a 25 stack.
That's funny.
All right, so here's your question. It's 3 parts.
Okay.
It's all about movies. Part number 1. What is your personal favorite movie of 2019 so far?
Like the movie came out in 2019?
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
don't
this
know
year.
if I've seen anything that new.
I also thought the same thing, but then I realized Netflix now releases movies during the year.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the answer to that for me is Always Be My Maybe.
I don't even know what that is.
It is like Crazy Rich Asians, but not as rich.
So it is mildly influential Asians.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Okay, so
That wasn't Crazy Rich Asians.
I really like the new Avengers.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. There you go.
In game.
It was good. Yeah, I cried a little.
I was gonna say
it was
when
special.
Oh, I
still
won't say
haven't
the
seen
moment.
it, but I don't care. I already know
Okay.
what happens.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Yep, Dumbledore dies.
what made it even better is you made his name Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Then, of course, the question you probably know is coming. What is your favorite all-time movie?
Oh, I'm a big Karate Kid fan.
Karate Kid. What's your opinion on Karate Kid 3?
I stopped after 2.
Is that the Smith kid?
No,
I think that's the
Karate
girl.
Kid 3 is the one with Hilary Swank as
no,
the
yeah, no. Original. I like part 1, part 2. The what's his name, Jaden Smith.
Mhm.
That was okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but I love was Ralph Macchio.
Ralph
Uh-huh,
Macchio.
yep.
Yep.
I love Karate Kid is my absolute favorite movie.
So, have you seen now the YouTube series where he actually comes back to play the same character and what's his name?
The
guy,
mean blonde kid.
Yeah, the mean blonde kid that he defeats
Uh-huh.
at the end comes back and is now leading the dojo that he was against.
no,
And so now it's the two of them leading competing dojos against each other.
it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
No, but I'll check it out.
So
I will.
it's on there. All right, so Karate Kid.
Mhm.
And now it says, if your favorite movie is live action, which it is, then what's your favorite animated movie of all time?
Oh, so this can be like Disney.
Yeah,
Any cartoon.
Any cartoon or digital cartoon.
Toy Story.
Toy Story.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's your 3-part question.
Yep.
This is a good one. Why are you so nice to everyone?
Oh, well, should I start being ugly to everyone?
That reminds me of another thing I wanted to bring up. Like, this is partly because they don't have you. Not to say that you aren't nice, but it always surprises me. Like, whenever they're voting for who's who, I said, Miss Crissy is by far the most sarcastic teacher. I don't see how I won this award. And they're like, no, she's nice. She's nice. It's like, have you ever actually talked to Miss Crissy?
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
I will say though that you are like, as far as personality goes, I feel like you are a more like nice teacher than a lot of them in the eyes of the students because, for one thing, only a limited number of students have you in class, so students always think that people are nicer if they're not assigning them things.
Right.
But also, I think that you are just generally in the hallways. You're doing less like mocking students than maybe we tend to.
Yeah, I've just always tried to see the good in people, and and I've got to work on that because a lot of times something will happen, and I'm like, I think it was an accident. They didn't mean to do that. Well, comes out, they're totally guilty. But I'm not a pushover. I've been working on that. So.
I mean,
don't
after
try
all of the jobs that you've worked, I feel it'd be kind of difficult to pull a fast one on you.
to- Yeah. If my kids were to answer this question, my students,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
they'd let them know real quick. I am nice to them, but
That question, not that. We're not
Yeah.
asking that question.
Yeah, we're gonna skip that question because it's a joke. That's mean.
oh, okay. They would let the students on the outside that I don't have let them know real quick that no, we have to walk a little bit of a line. Yeah.
And this, I'm standing here holding it like it's the last question, but it says what got you into teaching, and we actually already have covered that question. So,
So that's it.
That is the last of the suggestions for this time. I do have one final question for you, and that is there anything that you would like to tell to our students that they didn't ask? What is a question they should have asked you that they didn't ask that has a good answer?
Well, okay, so I had mentioned this earlier. Kids come up to me, I guess because I'm so nice.
Uh-huh.
They come up to me random in the hallways. They're either Ollie's friend or they just got to know me because I was their class sponsor or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or cousins. I have cousins like everywhere.
Yes, I have heard that from several students that they are related to.
Everywhere. And they come up and they're like, Miss Crissy, I'm going to get in your class next year. Miss Crissy, how can I get in your class? Miss Crissy, well, why so-and-so in there? I'm just like, I'm like, years ago we had a kid here. He's graduated like 3 years ago. And he would come by every day. Yeah, I can tell you in a minute. So, and he would say, like, I think he would be on his way to the bathroom from another class, and he'd catch my door open or somebody coming in or out and walk in and take a seat. I'm just talking to Miss Day about getting in here. And I'm like, not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And by this time, he was a senior. It's really not going to happen. Once you get older, it's really not going to happen. So, I don't know. That's the only thing. You can stop asking me how you can get my class, because it's way more than just getting in.
You don't get transferred in, It's not an elective class. So.
No. So sorry, because my kids that are in there just.
They need to be.
They love me.
She's so nice that she's already taken. Every class is full.
Yeah, I'm not letting anybody else in.
All right.
All right.
But I think that covers it. Until next time, my name has been Paul Davidson.
My name has been, and Lord willing will be, Scott Norman.
And we've been two
dumb white guys and a
busy woman.
Yes, a busy woman.